Hi everyone, if you're new to watching my videos, I'm Jessica Swarbrick. I work with Strand Hill Christie's International here in Manhattan Beach. And I'm doing this video here with Mira Costa's principal, Ben Dell, just talking about the school system here and all the questions that everybody has for going back to school. So I'm gonna introduce Principal Ben Dell. We're gonna talk a little bit about him so you can get to know him. Then we're gonna get into Costa, and then I have questions for you. So first, I just wanna thank you. I mean, I know I said this earlier, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it. His phone has been going off nonstop, as you can imagine. So I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down here. So first, I wanna introduce everybody who Principal Ben Dell is and get to know you. So you graduated from Texas A&M with a degree in Spanish.
Yes.
You still got that Spanish?
I do.
Really?
Sí.
Muy bien. Okay, then after A&M, then you went back to school and got your doctorate at Long Beach.
I did.
Okay.
In 2013.
Okay, and then what from there how did you transition into principal at Costa?
Well, I was already the principal at Costa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I started at Mira Costa in the fall of 2010.
Okay.
And I got my doctorate in 2012.
Okay.
Not 2013.
Okay.
But, so I had just completed year one of my doctorate, and then in my second year at Costa, I got my doctorate.
Okay, and what drew you to apply and want to be the principal at Costa?
Well, in 2004, we moved here.
Okay.
My wife's work moved us here.
Okay.
And I was a vice principal at Redondo.
Oh.
And so I knew all about Costa.
Okay.
And I knew all about Costa. So when the job came open, everybody thought I was crazy because it's the top of the heap.
Yeah.
And for principals, it had the reputation of kind of being a meat grinder for principals. Uh-huh. But my thought of that was, I want to know. I want to know if I've got what it takes.
Yeah.
And I was willing to give it a try and fail rather than walk around wondering.
Yeah.
So I threw my hat in the ring and got the job, and I've been here 11 years.
Wow, 11 years.
Yeah.
Geez, 2012 doesn't seem that long ago, but I guess it has been 11 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And now tell us about your family. So I know younger ones. I was Joe's teacher in church.
Yeah.
But tell us about all your kids.
Well, we have 6 kids,
Okay.
my wife and I, and our oldest is our adopted daughter, Christina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Christina and John.
Okay.
You might know them. And
Okay.
and then my oldest daughter, my daughter Bronwyn, lives in Hollywood.
Okay.
And works in fashion.
Oh.
Zadig and Voltaire. All right.
Okay.
So shameless plug. But and then my wife and I's oldest son, CJ, is at the Air Force Academy.
Okay, that's what Parker just mentioned to me. I didn't know. And your wife
Graduated from there
the
also.
Air Force Academy.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
And our senior, we have a senior, and our oldest son graduated from Costa in 2019.
Okay.
And then our oldest daughter, our daughter Katie, my wife and I's oldest daughter, Katie, she is a senior at Costa.
Okay, so Katie's already a senior.
She is.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Wow. And we're gonna hopefully hear on Monday the next round of
Colleges.
rolling admissions come in, and we're hoping University of Utah. So positive
so
thoughts to the U.
Yeah.
And then we have a 9th grade son, Jake.
Okay.
Who wouldn't normally be at Costa.
Yeah.
But he really, we felt, wouldn't do good and do well in distance learning.
Okay.
So we put him in a military school.
Oh, so where is that school?
He's in the New Mexico Military Institute.
Wow, and how's he liking that?
Well, better each day.
Yeah.
You know, it's a boarding school 13 hours away by car. And, you know, it's got to be daunting to be 14 and be in a dorm in the middle of New Mexico at a military school. But he's got a warrior spirit.
I can imagine.
And so he'll be okay.
Yeah.
And it's a pipeline to West Point.
Okay.
So if he sticks it out and does well, there's that opportunity.
And then is he hoping to go there?
Well, I think he's hoping to get his English homework turned in by Monday. So, but eventually we'll get around to, you know, what all this means. But our 4th grade son, Joe, is at Pennycamp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe's the one that I taught.
Yeah.
Yes.
So our range is 29 to 10.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So if you weren't busy enough with school, then now you're busy with all the kids.
Well, we moved right next to Costa.
Yeah.
On our balcony, I can see the entire campus.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And so
he's always watching you.
Yes. So if you don't have a permit to be in the pool, I can see you. But I think what that really means is it's part of our family. Mm-hmm. You know, it's what's happening at Costa is woven into the fabric of what we do as a family, because it is an extension of our family.
Yeah. I love that. So what I had mentioned to Ben earlier is that I do sell real estate here, but one of the, buying a house here, you can buy a house anywhere, and people move to Manhattan Beach and stay in Manhattan Beach, not just because of the homes, but really because of the community here, the people here, the lifestyle, and then a huge one is because of the school districts. People want to move where they can send their kids to a really good public school, and that's what draws a lot of people to Manhattan Beach and what keeps a lot of people in Manhattan Beach. So now that we've kind of gotten to know you better, thank you for all that. Let's talk about Costa and some of the programs that you guys offer. Some of these programs, I'm like, I wish they had these in my high school when I was growing up. So you guys have the Model UN, the Mustang News. Talk to me a little about some of those programs.
Well, you mentioned Model United Nations. It's a fact that we're the center of the high school Model United Nations world, which for anyone who doesn't know, Model United Nations is like a diplomatic competition.
Okay.
Right? And you get assigned a country and you make treaties and adopt policy.
And is this for all grades, or is it seniors or freshmen coming in?
It's for all grades, but most schools have it as a club. At Costa, we have 7 full classes of Model UN kids.
Oh, wow.
Which is the reason why we're so good at it, because we do it every day, all day.
So just to get an idea, how many kids are in a class? How many kids are in Model UN?
That'd be 200 kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids.
And it ranges from freshman to senior?
Correct.
Okay.
And then you mentioned Mustang Morning News, but there's also our print newspaper, La Vista, and our yearbook. They're all award-winning programs. Okay. And our performing arts is outstanding. And so, it's been so long, it's almost like we need to stop mentioning it, but in 2013 they won a Grammy as a program.
Okay, Parker, if you're wondering who I'm talking to, Parker's filming right now, so that's why I was talking to him earlier, but he had mentioned that his brother, I think, was a part of that choir who won the Grammy. Wow. I was
so proud of that award that I made him keep it in my office.
I would too.
I mean, what we do is all for the kids. Yeah. But in that one instance, I said, a great place to display that would be in my office. But now it's in the new gym. So when you walk in the gym, we put it in the trophy case in the gym. So I'm sharing it a little more with the world now. Yeah.
So since you mentioned the gym, let's talk about the facilities, since I haven't been in the facility since it was the old gym. So everything's new now. Everything's done. It's open. Will this be the first year that it's being used?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got the bond for the gym in 2016.
Right.
And we started design in 2017, and late 2018 we started building.
Okay.
And it's completed now. It's ready to go.
Okay.
The old gym was 45,000 square feet. This one's 78,000 square feet.
78,000 square feet.
Yeah. And it is
and it's
breathtaking.
Gym, weight room.
It's an athletic complex.
Okay.
So it has 2 gyms.
Oh, you got 2 gyms now.
And then it has a area for wrestling.
Okay.
Then there's cheer, dance, yoga.
Oh my gosh.
Winter guard, tall flags areas.
Okay.
There's a collegiate size weight room on the field level. So now it used to be all one level.
Yeah.
Now half the building is 2 levels.
Okay.
So there's 2 training rooms. There's 2 classrooms.
Over on the Meadows side?
No, the Meadows side would just be the gym. When you're standing on Meadows, you're looking at the gym.
Okay.
And then over there where the building gets a darker gray, that's the dance, cheer, yoga, winter guard room, that window. And then in between there is the wrestling room is right there.
So have any kids used that yet? No. It was finished during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
So we're excited.
So exciting to have everyone back.
There's all kinds of pictures of it online and in social media.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of tours, and I'll take you and Parker through if you want to go through. But
yeah, I would love a tour.
I feel strongly that by late March, early April, we could be in there playing games.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure everybody is more than ecstatic to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we jump into some of these questions and answer? So these are from questions that I've gotten from parents as well as from students. Okay. So it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
So number one question I think everybody in the whole country is wondering right now is when will students go back to school? And then with that, what will it look like? So will it be half the students on different days? Will it be everyone different times? Yeah. Kind of talk to us about what you're seeing as far as kids going back and what that schedule will look like.
Well, kids are coming back now.
Okay.
So we started with some of our kids that have pretty serious special needs.
Okay.
And then we shifted to a group of kids that have academic needs.
Okay.
They're not necessarily on an IEP and special education, but they're struggling academically.
Okay.
So we wanted to get them back in a room and get a live person to check on them.
And they're already back doing that now?
They're back.
Okay.
So we've, in terms of terminology, we have Monday we'll have 7 cohorts on campus.
And what is that?
Groups of kids, 12 to 14 groups. 12 to 14 per cohort.
Of those groups. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, okay. This week we had 6 cohorts. We're going to have one more on Monday.
And is there a teacher live with them in person as well?
With each one, yeah.
Wow. Okay. And how are those going? Are the kids happy to be back?
Yes. Yeah. They're happy to be back. It's still not normal.
Yeah.
So it's 12 to 14 kids in a class sitting at a desk with plexiglass around it, and they have masks. So it's still not normal, but they're back on campus.
Which is good.
And then we're going to slowly ramp up. And just this past week, our superintendent sent out a message that said that we're aiming for April 12th to bring back everyone.
April 12th?
Yes.
What is it? The end of so
soon.
A month and 12 days.
When you look at your watch, you know it's near, right? And so we're gearing up for that.
Wow.
There's a lot of work to do, but we're ready.
Okay.
And what it'll look like is
Has that announcement been gone out yet? Or is that a new thing? Okay.
He put it out in his Monday message this week.
Okay.
And what it'll look like is last names A through K on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
And last names L through Z on Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
And then Wednesday will still stay an off-campus, what we call an asynchronous day, where you don't meet with a live person.
Okay.
There's assignments and catching up and collaborating.
So will those 2 days be full days?
Yes.
Oh.
You go to all your classes.
Okay, all the classes. So jumping to one of the questions, one of the students asked about Wellness Wednesday. So it sounds like you're still taking that off. Is Wellness Wednesday different than just taking that Wednesday to catch up on things? Well, what is Wellness Wednesday?
We anticipate that Wellness Wednesday will stay the same.
Okay.
So what it is it's 2 periods in the day that are 2 hours long, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, where you can check in with your teachers.
Okay.
And get extra help.
Okay.
And then there's a small period in the day we call SEL, Social Emotional Learning, where you meet with grade level groups and a teacher, and we put out various content that we don't normally get to do.
Okay. What's an example of some of that content? Well,
content on race and ethnicity, content on gender identity and sexuality, content on healthy relationships, and then content on like this week coming up. It's what makes a good friend.
Oh, okay.
And the class is only 25 minutes long.
Okay.
So it's
and
really
that's a Zoom class.
It's a Zoom.
And it'll stay a Zoom class on Wednesdays. Okay.
But it's grade level, and you meet with the same teacher every time. So the goal of that is to build those connections with your grade level classmates, and then develop a relationship with an adult on campus you can go to if you need to.
Wow.
To have an adult on campus that if you need to talk to somebody, you have somebody. There's lots of adults to talk to, counselors, administrators, all your teachers, coaches. Yeah. But this is one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice. Let's see, will they be keeping the block schedule if the school is hybrid with those 2 days?
Well, that's a complicated question. Okay. So the block schedule we adopted was by a MOU with our labor unit. Okay. And it was for distance learning. Now, we're not sure that schedule will work well enough once they go in hybrid. Okay. So we are talking about making adjustments. Okay. And then when we go back full school, it'll be another decision-making time of what type of schedule we return to full school in.
Has there been any talk, or do they have any idea of when full school could resume?
Well, that's actually the $64,000 question, right? Is when is full school going to happen? And the reality is nobody knows. Right. But what I say to people, and am confident in this, is we won't be the only school that isn't back to regular school. So, you know, we're going to do what all the other schools are doing in LA County, because that's what's driving the bus right now is LA County Department of Health guidelines. So when that allows it, we'll go. Okay. Yeah.
Good to know. How will the school approach the standardized testing? So the AP tests, the SATs, the ACTs?
Well, SAT and ACT are in person. You just have to find a school that's offering it. And we haven't traditionally been a school that offers that. That's proctored it. Okay. That's not how SAT and ACT work. There's schools that are centers and probably been doing it for a long time.
And are those, do you know, still open this? Because kids would be taking them this spring.
They are open.
Okay.
And AP, they gave us 3 options to choose: a fully in-person option, a hybrid option, and a fully online option. Okay. We chose the hybrid option because the fully in-person we felt was really early, and we didn't want to risk committing to that and then not being able to do it.
So how, if someone doesn't know already, how was the AP testing run before? So that then when you say hybrid, they'll kind of understand.
Pre-pandemic, it was on our campus. Okay. I mean,
how many kids would be in there for an AP test?
Well, we do about 2,000 tests a year, which is a lot.
2,000 tests a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Seems like a lot.
When I got to Costa, it was somewhere around 800. Okay. We've really had an uptick on the number of tests we do. Wow. So, but we did it all on the campus. Okay. Literally shut down the campus for 2 weeks and just did AP testing. Okay. Which is, if you know a lot about a lot of schools, that's just a remarkable statement I just made. Okay. In the pandemic, last May, it was all online. And it was troublesome. Some of the tests didn't work properly.
Is every student taking these AP tests?
Not all students take the AP test. Okay. So, but 2,000 tests still, again, is a lot.
It seems like a lot.
Yeah, it is. And so the reason why we didn't like the third option that was fully online is it's so late in the year. And it would interfere with our finals. Okay. And that's the makeup period. Okay. So I don't know why a school would pick that, because your kids are taking the test during the time that's also the makeup period. Okay. So you're kind of boxed in. You better get the kids all taking it because that's it. Yeah. So the middle option made the most sense for us because it offered some versatility with on campus and online. Okay. And it didn't interfere with finals and the makeup. So when would those tests start? I want to say May 13th-ish. Oh, okay. So up until the pandemic, AP testing was always the first 2 weeks of May. Okay. That's option 1. We're the next 2 weeks. Okay. So it's those middle 2 weeks. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good to know. What are some of the teachers doing to help the kids transition with going back to school and with the adjustment of the 2 days still being off, the kind of the hybrid schedule? Well, nothing yet, because we're not there, right? But it'll be disruptive. It will. But we have great teachers. I mean, I would stack our teachers up against anybody's pound for pound. I mean, our teachers are amazing. And so we'll get it done.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll take a lot of patience and understanding and a little bit of, you know, breathing in through your mouth and out through your nose, you know, and a lot of going to your happy place. Yes. But it will get it done. Yeah. Because in the end, if it's the right thing to do, you just do it. And you have to be agile, right? And we try to be as nimble as we can be. And so look at it going into the pandemic. You know, we shut down school on March 13th, that Friday. And we were one of the only schools that I know of that had classes on that Monday.
Well, you had class on Monday,
we did.
Right after the Friday. Okay.
On the 16th, we had a full boat of classes.
Okay.
So we anticipated. Our teachers were very receptive. Because to be honest, 3 weeks out prior to the pandemic, the whole world was saying, we're not going to shut schools down.
Yeah.
And as a leadership, we went to staff and said, let's start getting ready.
Okay.
What's the worst thing that can happen? We get ready and nothing happens. And
always
so
be prepared.
I know. You know about us in the Boy Scouts, right? And so we were prepared. And so we opened on Monday. I have a former VP who's in a district in another county. And 3 weeks into the pandemic, we were texting and I said, how's it going? He goes, I'm a little nervous because we're back to school on Monday. 3 weeks after that. So for 3 weeks, that whole district had no school.
Okay.
So we went back on the Monday. So let's just look at that now and project it to April.
Yep.
That's what I anticipate.
Okay. Going into sports. So you had mentioned to me earlier, but when will sports resume? And if so, what's the protocol with the teams and the different sports? I know you were on the phone as you got here going over all of that. So
sports will resume yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I'm mixing my verbs with my adjectives, but so a week ago, CIF and the State Department of Health said if you drop below 14 cases per 100,000, you can reopen.
Okay.
And on Tuesday, we went to 12.3 or something.
Okay.
It was less than 14. So we scrambled around and that day, they issued helmets to football.
Wow.
And water polo got ready for game. And then yesterday, football went into full pads. And today, water polo had their first game. And I mentioned those two sports because they're fall sports.
Okay.
So they got to ramp up right away.
Okay.
Now, spring sports start in about a week to 10 days.
Okay.
So that'll be everybody then.
Wow, I'm sure.
Because the other fall sports were already going.
Okay.
Because when we went into purple tier, cross country started. We had a cross country meet a week ago.
Oh, you
So
did?
they had already started.
Oh, okay.
So now football and water polo, fall and winter sports, now they're ramping up.
Okay.
So next week football has a scrimmage. The following week we're playing St. Francis. The following week we're playing Culver City. I mean, we're going.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure the kids are so happy to be back. So what's the protocol? Is there testing that's going on, or what is everything that goes along? Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But the high contact sports are required to weekly test.
Okay.
So football and water polo are weekly testing.
And how does that work? Is it parents taking them off campus to a spot, bringing results back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, for the first round, we just scrambled. We just said, everybody go get tested. We put together a Google Doc for them to upload it so it would go into one folder.
Okay.
And our trainers, Franklin and Cameron, could go in and go, okay, here's the roster.
Okay.
Because it's literally, if you get tested, you're on the roster.
Okay.
The coaches have to exchange rosters.
Okay.
So if you and I are water polo coaches, I give you our roster, you give you yours.
Okay.
And that's for contact tracing.
Yep.
So if there's an issue, we know who was there and who was in the pool, and you know ours and we know yours. And it's also a little peace of mind knowing we're certifying that these kids have been tested and you are too. But now for next week, we're looking at partnering with people. I talked to it's in the planning stages, but it sounds like it's going to happen. And I really want to mention them because this is amazing.
Yeah.
But the water polo booster president called me last night and said that the owners of the Bottle Inn, the Condrens, had agreed to do the weekly testing for water polo at their site, which is,
my gosh.
That's who we are. I mean,
this is part of, again, talking about community.
Yeah.
There's other places that you can live, that you can buy homes, but it doesn't have, I mean, this is why people live here.
Yeah.
Because when things like this happen, and it's not always great, people scramble, and in the community, they make stuff happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is absolutely who we are.
Okay.
And so football, they've got a great booster organization also. When we went back to, we've been doing sports since September.
Okay.
But it's been in cohorts and social distance and just conditioning, right? Which is important because we're learning from college and pros, there's a lot of soft tissue injuries because of the pandemic. So I said to our coaches, let's be excited about conditioning so that when we do go back to full competition, we've had all this conditioning and we don't, it won't happen to us what's happening in the collegiate and professional levels with all these soft tissue injuries. So football organized testing for everybody in the fall, which was amazing. They took that on and we got everybody tested. And they partnered with EXER.
I'm not familiar.
EXER, the local.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's pronounced EXER, right?
Okay.
It seems like it should be.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And so, that's incredible. We're talking to Beach Cities. We're talking to a company called Capstone. So we'll get it figured out. But I'm excited to have them back. We've been running 1,300 athletes since September.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of kids out there.
That is a lot of kids.
It's not every day, but over the course of a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 2 more questions for you. Last one, second to last would just be for any of those parents who are still kind of on the fence between sending their kids to a private school or keeping them here locally at Mira Costa, what would you say to those parents?
I would congratulate them because they have a great problem.
That's true.
Not everywhere do you get to choose between Mira Costa High School and really great private schools. Most everywhere else, it's a desperation to get into the private school because the public school in your area is, it's not the best. But parents in Manhattan Beach and Hermosa Beach don't have that problem. So whatever you choose to do, you made a great decision. I'm partial to Costa because I think we're an incredible school.
As you should be.
Yeah, and when you look at a school, you're looking at academics, activities, and athletics. So academically, we're the top of the heap. We're the top 1% of 1% of schools in the country. Activities-wise, we just talked about it, right? We win Grammys, And then athletically, 2016, which was great because it was the year we needed the bond. Cal High Sports, the statewide sports publication, named us the #1 sports school in California.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
#1 sports school in California.
And in 2011, we were ESPN top 50 sports school nationally. So, there's rumors and then there's facts, right? And what you'll hear is Costa's the academic school and other schools in the area are the sports school. We're all good in academics. We're all good in sports. You're not going to make a bad decision. So just do the thing that's best for your kid. And what I found at Costa is sometimes a student who really needs a smaller environment is overwhelmed. And they end up at another school. They end up at Vistamar, or they end up at Chadwick, or Loyola, or Marymount, right? And those are the ones in this area. And I never harbor ill will. That's okay, because I have to be able to separate my principal self and myself as a father of my own kids.
Right.
And you have to make those decisions for your family.
Yeah.
And I've been knocked around a little bit because we put our 9th grader at New Mexico Military Institute. And my attitude is I do what's best for my family.
Yep.
And that was what was best for him. But nobody can ever say I'm not Costa enough. No one can ever say that. Like, if you're saying it, you're just saying it and then laughing afterwards because you're totally kidding.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just about as Costa as it gets. And so I really believe in what we do. I believe in our school. We have brand new facilities. That's the other thing, you know, other schools have new facilities. In my 11 years now, we have renovated every square foot of that campus in some way.
Really?
All 44 acres.
Wow.
Have been renovated. So it's a 70-year-old school, but it's really
been updated.
A 5-year-old school in terms of facilities.
I can't wait to see the new sports facilities.
It's
been a while since I've been in.
And as a volleyball player, there's something killer in there. When we walk in, I mean, I like to wait till we get in there, but I'll tell you, we put no lights over the court.
That makes such a difference when balls go up and you cannot see them with the light with some gyms.
So all the lighting is over the bleachers, and you would think, well, doesn't it make the court dark? It doesn't. No, the way we designed it, the court is substantially lit.
Oh my gosh, I've been in some courts where you cannot see the ball.
There's no canisters, light canisters over the court.
Okay.
And we made the ceiling 4 feet higher.
Okay.
So now it's NC2A rated.
Wow.
So we can host NC2A matches there.
Okay.
And we did that extra height, which is money, by the way, because buildings, you don't pay for a building by the square foot, you pay for buildings by the cubic foot. So even though that extra 4 feet is air, that was an investment.
Yeah.
And that was an investment we made for kids to make that ceiling 4 feet higher than it's supposed to be for volleyball, because you have to know your identity.
We all appreciate you.
Well, you have to know your identity. And even though Cal High said you're the #1 sports school, which is all 36 sports, I mean, really, sports-wise, what are we known for? I mean, volleyball. And so I say that, and I kind of whisper it because the other 35 sports go, we're kicking butt too, you know? And so you're careful with that. But the reality of it is Manhattan Beach, AVP.
Yeah, there's a lot of volleyball kids down here.
We put a Hall of Fame where we put these big wall-mounted framed things that have our top athletes, and it's 14, and like 10 of them are volleyball players, right? So it's like Eric, Fenoy Moana and Holly McPeak and Alex Kleiman and Mike Dodd and Barbara Fontana. Like, it's all our volleyball people.
And I think half of their names are on the pier too.
yeah, exactly. So we got a football player in there. We got a soccer player in there, We got Renee, our cross-country coach, in there. Okay. But it's volleyball.
Wow. And now lastly, just if any kids watch this, what can you say just to leave kids with a thought of what would you like to say to your students?
Wow. I know that they know their principal really cares about them. And I've really tried to live my life at Costa so every kid would know their principal. I think my feelings don't get hurt easily, but if I felt like a kid was walking around and didn't know who their principal was, it would hurt my feelings. Because I think it's important for them to know that there's somebody, another somebody, because I'm certainly not the only one, right? That their principal cares about them. And so if that means that I spend every night of the week and a lot of the day Saturday, showing up to events, being involved, letting them see my face, high fives. And I prefer fist bumps because I'm a germaphobe, right? But fist bumping, and I think that that's important.
I think it's very important.
And we did a interview recently with the Daily Breeze on the gym. And Damien from the Daily Breeze asked me the same thing. He goes, what do you want kids to know about this gym? And I said, well, I want them to know that it's because of them. Because when we went out for that gym, we said, we need a facility that matches the level of the product we're putting out there. And if the kids weren't producing that product, we couldn't have said that. And we would be asking for more than we deserved. But I don't feel like we did. I feel like we asked for what we had coming to us because our kids had put it out there so much, so well for so long that it resonated with the community. Because we did the same thing with classroom spaces. We said our test scores are through the roof and our classroom spaces don't reflect that. So we need a facility that matches the level of academic performance. And when we went for the gym, we said the same thing. And it resonated with the community. They gave us money for a gym. Like
a lot of money.
It's crazy. Yeah, $39 million. So I want the kids to know that we do what we do for them because of them. So it's a symbiotic relationship where they continually are performing at a high level and we're hustling to provide them the resources and support they deserve. Not what they need, but what they deserve. And I hope that our kids know that. We don't say it enough.
Yeah. I love that. For any kids who were freshmen that are now coming in, and if you don't already know your principal and you're back in school, just take the time to go up and say hi, because I do know you outside of this interview. I probably know your wife and some of your kids better, but your principal is a really great guy who cares about you. And it's nice that things are going back and kids will be in school and there's people that care about you guys. And this is definitely one of them. And so Costa's lucky to have you as a principal, and thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, thank you.
Go Costa.
Yes.